Hi, Kindergarten Penguins. It's Mrs. Comer here, and I'm so excited for another session of Writer's Workshop. Let's get started with our gathering song. We are gathering on the rug. Everyone is here now. We are here. That was some great singing, kindergartners. Today for Writer's Workshop, we're going to start off with some celebrations. And the reason that we have celebration is because kindergartners have been sending in their how-tos and we love reading them. And today we're going to celebrate all the things that they added in their how-tos from watching these videos. So let's take a look at our first one. Our first one comes in from Joseph in Miss Scranton's class. Joseph wrote his how-to on how to get dressed. Let's take a look at what Joseph did. That was amazing! Take a look at those numbered steps. Way to go, Joseph, numbering those steps. We know that's very important in keeping our writing in order. We also see that Joseph added labels and made a clear illustration, helping us really visualize what he wants us to do. Nice work. Let's give Joseph a silent cheer. Help me out, guys. Woo! Nice job, Joseph. Our next amazing writing comes in from Miss Maddie in Miss Jambaluka's class. Take a look at our girl Maddie's writing. Now, Maddie added that wonderful you in her writing, and you can see that right there because she wants the reader to know what you should be doing. Nice addition to that writing, Maddie. We also see her illustration up here, and it is explicitly telling us what to do. She even used one of our math terms, plus, so that we knew they went together. Nice, clear drawing, Maddie. Let's give Maddie a silent cheer. Woo! Way to go, Maddie. Nice work, Maddie. Our final example comes from Chelsea in Miss Clayton's class. And our girl Chelsea used that transition word. She used that first, telling that reader what she wants them to do. She's got nice labeled illustrations, and it looks like she's helping and teaching us how to make a pepperoni pizza. Let's give Chelsea a big old cheer. Woo! Way to go, Chelsea. If you would like to see your writing showcase, make sure you send it in to your teacher. We love reading them. Today for Writer's Workshop, I want to teach you another way to show readers exactly what you mean for them to do when they read your how-to directions. So today, we're going to be working on something called comparisons. So I want you to pause for a second. What does Miss Comer mean when she says comparisons? Well, good thing you asked, because Miss Comer is going to show you some comparisons and help you understand what does that mean. So let's start off with our first comparison. The direction tells me to put your hands together. So watch Miss Comer. And you can do it too. But what if I said, put your hands together like you're clapping for a celebration? That might be a little different than just like this. I remember one time when I hit a home run and everybody was celebrating me. They were clapping so loud. So let's change it out. Let's show how you could clap like you're having a celebration. Do you see how that changed? That helped you see and visualize what Miss Comer was asking us to do? Because if I just said put your hands together, that didn't really tell me much. But if I said put your hands together like you're clapping, man, did that change. So adding that comparison, adding that other component or other part to clapping allows us to show something that is the same as clapping, like clapping for a celebration. Let's try another one. Stand up tall. Go ahead, let's try it. Stand up tall. All right, now let's make the directions even clearer. Stand up tall like you are a flamingo. So Miss Comer might put her neck out tall like a flamingo. So you can see how comparisons help you visualize what that author wants you to do. Let's try a few more. March in place. Okay, now let's see if you can help me make a comparison. What else would help me visualize marching in place? What do you see in this picture? So if Miss Comer said march in pace like a penguin, would that help you visualize what I want you to do? Absolutely. Let's march in pace like our penguin. Nice job. All right, we've got one more. All right, kindergartners, lift up your leg. Okay. What if I said, lift up your leg like you're kicking a ball? Oh, that might have been different than what you did. Miss Comer just lifted her leg, and I didn't do it like the author was envisioning. So they wanted me to kick up my leg like I was kicking a ball. So if you notice here, the leg is bent back, kind of like I'm ready to kick. So that changed what I imagined the author wanted me to do. So sometimes when we make comparison, it makes the directions even clearer and allows us to know what the author wants us to do. So when you make a comparison, you look for something that is similar or reminds you of something. So Miss Comer read the word juicy, and I was thinking, what would be a comparison? What do I know that's super juicy? If you look at Miss Comer right here, you'll see juicy like a cheeseburger. So Miss Comer might use that comparison in her writing to help other people visualize or understand what juicy is like. So today, we're going to take a look at two writers, Zion in Miss Blanchett's class and Jonathan in Miss Comer's class, and we're going to help them add a comparison to their writing. Let's take a look at Zion's. Now, Zion had a how-to on how to feed his dog, very similar to Miss Comer's. Let's take a look and see what he did in his writing. First, I open the dog food bag. And I can see that in his picture. I know that I open a bag of chips. I could add that comparison. And Zion might add one that he's thinking of. But we're going to go to the next page to add our comparison. Next, I pour it in his bowl. Oh, you know what? I know when I pour my dog's food in there, I got to be careful. It's kind of like when I pour milk in a bowl. So maybe I want to add to this one that comparison so that people know exactly what I want them to do. So Zion, I'm going to add to your writing today, but feel free to change it if you don't like. Next, I pour it in his bowl like I pour milk. And I might even add that warning that Miss Scranton taught us about. Be careful. Add that exclamation point. So Miss Comer added a warning and a comparison to this page. Let's see our final step. Last, I let him eat and put the dog food away. And I might think of a comparison of something that I put away, like my toys or my clothes. Did Miss Comer add a comparison on every page? Nope. Do you need to write a comparison on every page? Nope. But you can see how easily you could add comparisons on every page if you chose to. But you're the boss of your writing, so you get to choose where you think a comparison would work in your steps. Maybe step 1 would be a good spot for comparison. But just like Miss Comer did, she waited till step 2 when she wanted to talk about pouring the dog food and making that step a little clearer so we knew to be careful and to pour it like you pour milk. Next, let's take a look at my friend Jonathan's. Now, Jonathan is in Miss Comer's class, and he is teaching us about how to make some pepperoni pizza. Him and Chelsea must be really hungry. All right, let's take a look at Jonathan's writing and see where we could add a comparison. First, you get the dough and sauce and cheese and pepperonis. Does this look like a spot we would need a comparison? No, I think that this page and this step is fine just the way it is. Let's take a look at step number 2. Then roll the dough. I know when I make pizza, that dough needs to be flat. And when I roll it needs to be flat like can you think of anything that's flat? That would help that reader know that you need to make it really, really flat? That was a great idea. Roll the dough flat like a pancake. Does that help you visualize how flat it needs to be? Yes. And Jonathan, this is your writing. I'm just using your writing as an example today, but please feel free to make your comparisons on any step you want. Let's keep reading Jonathan's how-to. Step 3. Next, put the pepperoni and cheese on it. Finally, put it in the oven. And you can see here that Miss Comer did not add a comparison on every page, but she just added a comparison on a page that she thought might need a little clearer directions. So for Jonathan, it was rolling the dough flat like a pancake, giving that comparison of a pancake so that people could visualize how flat you needed that pizza to be. I also went back and added the comparison on Zion's page where he was pouring it kind of like milk so we don't spill it. So guess what, kindergartners? Now it's your turn. Now it's time for you to go back into your writing and add those comparisons. Now you might add a comparison today, or maybe you just tuck that tool in your toolkit and maybe you might use that on another part of your writing. But guess what? As always, you're the boss of your writing. So if you want to choose to work on something different today, that is all your decision. So again, I love when you send in your videos and your writing how-tos, so keep them coming. You might see some of yours featured on the next video. As always, off you go. I can't wait to see that writing.